The massive doors of the United Nations Security Council chamber swung open. Commander Alex Bennett took a deep breath as he walked in with the rest of the Earth delegation. His palm felt sweaty against the data tablet he carried. Today was important. Today, humans would show their military capabilities to the Galactic Council for the first time. "Remember the plan," General Mary Baker whispered beside him. "We only show what's in the approved files. Nothing about Prometheus." Alex nodded. The ceiling lights dimmed, and the air in the center of the room began to shimmer. One by one, the alien representatives appeared as life-sized holograms. The technology still amazed Alex even after 3 years of contact with the Council races. First came Ambassador Zex of the Xerillians, his blue skin almost transparent, showing the outline of 3 hearts beating inside his chest. Next was High, Commander Vrax of the Vexmore, her insect-like body towering nearly 9 feet tall, compound eyes glittering with thousands of facets. After her, 5 more aliens appeared, the main members of the Galactic Council that ruled over 300 star systems. "Greetings, representatives of Earth," said the Andorian elder, the oldest and most respected member of the Council. His skin was pale white, and his forearms moved in gentle patterns as he spoke. "We welcome this opportunity to assess your defensive capabilities." President Joe Garcia stepped forward. "The people of Earth thank the Council for this chance to share our technology. We hope this marks another step toward our full membership." The Andorian nodded, but Alex noticed the tiny twitch at the corner of his lipless mouth. In the 3 years since first contact, humans had learned that expression meant doubt. "Please proceed," the Andorian said. General Baker walked to the center of the room. The holographic projector hummed to life, displaying Earth's orbital defense stations, missile systems, and newest fighter jets. "Our current defense system includes 50 orbital platforms armed with kinetic energy weapons," she explained. "On the ground, we maintain a global network of missile bases with nuclear capability. Our air forces—" A harsh barking sound interrupted her. It came from Vrax, the insect-like Vexmore. Alex knew it was her species' equivalent of laughter. "You use explosives to propel metal as weapons?" Vrax clicked her mandibles together rapidly. "And you split atoms? Such primitive approaches." Baker's face flushed red, but she maintained her composure. "Our weapons have proven effective for Earth's defense needs." Ambassador Zex leaned forward, his 3 hearts visibly speeding up. "Perhaps we are missing something. Surely your most advanced weapons don't rely on chemical reactions and basic nuclear fusion." "These are our current operational systems," Baker said carefully. The Zentari diplomat, a being made of what looked like flowing lava contained in a transparent exoskeleton, turned to explain to a newcomer. "The humans fire metal using controlled explosions. Their ships move by burning chemicals. It's what my younglings do in science practice." Laughter spread through the alien representatives. Even the normally serious draconians with their dragon-like features showed their sharp teeth in what humans had learned was their version of a smile. Captain Olivia Rodriguez stepped closer to Alex. "They're making fun of us," she whispered. "Like we're children?" Alex nodded, his jaw tight. "Let them laugh, they don't know what's coming." The Andorian elder raised a hand, quieting the others. "Humans, we appreciate your presentation. However, I must be honest. Your technology is underdeveloped compared to Council standards. We understand we have much to learn," President Garcia said diplomatically. "Indeed." The Andorian's voice was kind, but his eyes showed pity. "The Council has decided that Earth will remain at observer status for now. Your species needs more time to develop." "With respect," Baker said, "we've advanced rapidly in the last century. Given access to Council technology—" "That is precisely our concern," interrupted Ambassador Zex. "Your species moves too quickly without the wisdom to match. Giving you advanced technology now would be like giving a baby a plasma cutter." The room fell silent. The insult was clear. "Then perhaps the Council would consider a defense agreement," Garcia suggested. "If your ships protected Earth, we would gladly offer mining rights to—" "We'll discuss such arrangements at a later time," the Andorian cut in. "For now, we recommend you continue developing at your natural pace." The meeting ended shortly after. As the alien holograms disappeared, Alex watched the Earth delegation's defeated expressions. Only he and a few others knew the truth, that humanity wasn't nearly as helpless as the Council believed. Later that evening, Alex entered a secure underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains. After passing through 7 security checkpoints, he reached the heart of humanity's most secret project. Dr. Grace Lee looked up from her workstation as he entered. Behind her, a massive device hummed with power. It didn't look impressive, just a series of rings surrounding a sphere about the size of a basketball. But appearances were deceiving. "How did the meeting go?" she asked, though his face probably told her everything. "They laughed at us," Alex said simply. "Called us babies with toys." Grace nodded, unsurprised. "And Prometheus?" "They have no idea it exists." Alex looked at the device. "How close are we?" "Final calibrations are complete," Grace said, her eyes lighting up with excitement. "We've successfully altered quantum probabilities in a targeted area. The test results exceeded expectations." Alex walked closer to the machine. "And they have nothing like this?" "Not according to everything we've learned about their weapons," Grace replied. "They focused on energy manipulation, lasers, plasma, fusion. They never explored quantum uncertainty as a weapon. Their entire approach to physics avoided uncertainty rather than using it." "When can we demonstrate it?" Grace's expression grew serious. "Alex, you know this isn't just a demonstration tool. Prometheus changes the fundamental constants of reality in a targeted area. The effects are absolute." He nodded slowly. "I know, but after today I also know we'll need it. The Council sees us as children. Some of those races out there see us as potential slaves or food. Or lab specimens," Grace added quietly. "Exactly. So we keep Prometheus secret until we have no choice." Alex looked at the device that represented humanity's greatest scientific achievement, and potentially its salvation. "But when that day comes, the Council won't be laughing anymore." Grace turned back to her monitors. "For what it's worth, I hope that day never comes." "So do I," Alex said, but deep down he didn't believe it. The look in the alien's eyes told him everything he needed to know. Sooner or later, humanity would have to show its real strength. And when that happened, the galaxy would never be the same. Outside the facility, stars twinkled in the night sky. Among them were worlds whose inhabitants had no idea that the primitive humans they mocked had discovered something that would change the balance of power forever. 6 months passed since the humiliating meeting with the Galactic Council. Earth continued its observer status, watching from the sidelines as galactic politics played out among the stars. Commander Alex Bennett stood at the window of Space Station Liberty, Earth's first orbital diplomatic post. The stars looked different to him now, knowing what lived out there. "Commander, you need to see this," said Lieutenant Sam Cooper, rushing into the observation deck with a data tablet in hand. Alex took the tablet and frowned at the images. Red alert symbols flashed across a star map of the nearby Centauri sector. "When did this happen?" he asked, his voice tight. 3 hours ago, Sam replied. "The Krull Empire launched a surprise attack on 4 Council worlds. The Council defense. Fleets are in retreat across the entire front. The Krull." Alex had read the reports. A warrior race from the Outer Rim, held in check for centuries by Council peacekeeping forces, known for their aggression and their belief that only the strong deserved to survive. "Get me a secure line to General Baker," Alex ordered. Within an hour, the crisis team gathered in the station's command center. The holographic display showed the rapid advance of the Krull fleet across what had been peaceful space just days before. "They've overrun the Centauri outpost," reported Science Officer Keith Harrison, pointing to a flashing red dot on the map. 3,000 Council citizens dead, another 12,000 taken as slaves. Admiral Susan Miller, recently promoted to head Earth Space Defense Command, studied the tactical display with narrowed eyes. "What's their projected course?" Keith adjusted the display. A dotted line extended from the Krull fleet, pointing directly at Earth's solar system. "They'll be here in less than a month at their current speed," he said. The room fell silent. "The Council promised us protection. Diplomatic Officer Jane Wright finally said. Has there been any response to our request for assistance? Admiral Miller's face darkened. Yes. They've offered to station a small defensive fleet in our system. That's good news, isn't it? Asked Sam. Not exactly, Miller replied. The protection comes with conditions. Mining rights to the asteroid belt, permanent council bases on Mars and Titan, and direct oversight of all human military development. Alex clenched his jaw. They're using this crisis to take control of our system. They say it's for our own protection, Jane said, though her tone made it clear she didn't believe it either. And if we refuse? Keith asked. Then we're on our own, Miller answered simply. The door to the command center slid open. Captain Olivia Rodriguez hurried in, her face pale. Admiral, we've intercepted communications from the Crawl fleet. They don't consider Earth protected by the Non-Interference Pact. What? Alex felt his stomach drop. Their commander specifically mentioned Earth as a target, Olivia continued. Called us easy prey and primitive. They've changed course. 3 battle groups are now heading directly for our system. Admiral Miller straightened her uniform. Time estimate? 72 hours, Olivia replied. Miller looked around the room, meeting each person's eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, it seems we have a decision to make. Accept council control or face the Crawl alone. Alex stepped forward. There's a third option. All eyes turned to him. Project Prometheus, he said simply. Miller's expression turned guarded. That's classified, Commander. Everyone in this room has clearance, Alex argued, and we're running out of options. After a long moment, Miller nodded. Prometheus is still experimental. Dr. Lee says it's ready for field testing, but we've never deployed it in actual combat. What is Prometheus? Jane asked. Alex looked to Miller, who nodded again, giving permission. A weapon system unlike anything in the galaxy, Alex explained. While the Council races developed energy weapons, lasers, plasma, fusion, human scientists took a different approach. We studied quantum probability. In simple terms, Miller continued, Prometheus doesn't fire anything. It changes the laws of physics in a targeted area of space. It alters the fundamental constants that hold matter together. Jane's eyes widened. You mean, one moment something exists, Alex said. The next moment, the basic force is holding. Its atoms together simply change. The effect is instantaneous and total. Sam looked skeptical. If this is so powerful, why didn't we tell the Council? They might have respected us more. Or they might have destroyed us on the spot, Miller countered. A weapon this powerful would terrify them. They'd never allow a primitive species like us to possess it. The room fell quiet as everyone considered the implications. We need to inform the President, Miller finally said. This is beyond our authority. 3 hours later, they gathered again. This time, the holographic projection showed President Garcia himself. The Council has made their final offer, the President said grimly. Full protection in exchange for essentially becoming their vassal state. And the Crawl? Miller asked. Will reach our system in 65 hours, Garcia replied. Our conventional defenses would last less than a day against their fleet. Mr. President, Alex said, stepping forward. Project Prometheus is ready for deployment. Dr. Lee has confirmed it. Garcia's expression was pained. Using an untested weapon of this magnitude, the consequences could be severe. Respectfully, sir, Admiral Miller said, the consequences of not using it will definitely be severe. The Crawl don't take prisoners except for slavery. Earth would fall within days. The President closed his eyes for a moment. When he opened them, his decision was clear. Admiral Miller, you are authorized to deploy Project Prometheus against the incoming Crawl fleet. May God help us all. The connection ended. The room remained silent until Miller began issuing orders. Commander Bennett, Captain Rodriguez, you'll coordinate with Lunar Base. Lieutenant Cooper, prepare the defensive fleet. We may not be able to stop them conventionally, but we can slow them down until Prometheus is ready. As everyone hurried, To their tasks, Alex caught Olivia by the arm. "This is it," he said quietly. "Everything changes after today." She nodded, her eyes showing both fear and determination. "The Council laughed at our weapons. The Crawl think we're easy prey. They're both about to learn how dangerous primitive humans can be." On the lunar dark side, inside a facility unknown to most of humanity, Dr. Grace Lee received the authorization code. Her hands trembled slightly as she began the activation sequence for humanity's most terrible and wonderful creation. "Prometheus is powering up," she reported over the secure channel. "Target acquisition systems online, ready to receive coordinates in 48 hours. The countdown to humanity's first shot in galactic warfare had begun. The main control room of Lunar Base Alpha buzzed with activity. Dr. Grace Lee hadn't slept in 36 hours, but adrenaline kept her alert. On the main screen, a red dot moved steadily closer to Earth. The Crawl battle fleet. "Status report," Commander Alex Bennett said as he entered the room. Grace looked up from her console. "Prometheus is at full power. Targeting systems are locked and ready." Alex nodded and moved to stand beside her. Through the window, Earth hung in the black sky, beautiful and vulnerable. Somewhere up there, 20 human ships prepared to face an enemy fleet of over 60 vessels. It would be a slaughter, unless Prometheus worked. "Any word from the Council?" Grace asked quietly. "They're deeply concerned about the situation," Alex replied, his voice bitter. "They're still discussing what to do." "While we die?" Grace muttered. The door opened again. Captain Olivia Rodriguez entered, followed by Admiral Susan Miller. Their faces were grim. "The Crawl fleet has passed Mars orbit," Miller announced. "They'll reach our defensive line in 2 hours." "And our ships?" Alex asked. "In position," Olivia replied. "But," she hesitated. "They know they don't stand a chance," Miller finished for her. "They're buying us time, nothing more." Grace turned back to her console, feeling the weight of those brave crew's lives on her shoulders. Prometheus had to work, it had to. "The President is addressing the world now," Miller said, activating a screen. President Garcia's face appeared. He looked tired but determined. "Citizens of Earth," he began. "By now you know that an alien fleet approaches our world with hostile intent. The Galactic Council, which promised us protection, has abandoned us in our hour of need. They believe we are too weak, too primitive to defend ourselves." He paused, his expression hardening. "Today, we will show them how wrong they are. Earth stands alone, but we stand strong. I have authorized the use of our most advanced defensive technology. I cannot tell you more, but know this: humanity will not fall today." The address ended. The room was silent except for the soft beeping of computer systems. "Incoming transmission from the Crawl fleet," a communications officer announced suddenly. Admiral Miller nodded. "Put it through." The screen changed to show a reptilian face. The Crawl commander had gray, leathery skin and yellow eyes with vertical pupils. When he spoke, his pointed teeth flashed. "Humans," he hissed, his voice translated by the computer. "Your world is surrounded. Your primitive ships cannot save you. Surrender now, and we will take only half your population as slaves. Resist and we will take everything." Miller stepped forward. "This is Admiral Susan Miller of Earth Defense Command. We do not surrender to invaders. Leave our system now, or face the consequences." The Crawl commander laughed, a chilling sound, like rocks grinding together. "Brave words from a species that throws metal with explosions. We have conquered races with technology 1,000 years ahead of yours. What can you possibly do against us?" "You're about to find out," Miller replied, then cut the transmission. She turned to the room. "Everyone to battle stations. Grace, is Prometheus ready?" Grace nodded. "Yes, Admiral. Target acquisition complete. We can fire on your command." Miller took a deep breath. "Wait for my signal. Let our fleet engage first." The next hour passed in tense silence. On the tactical display, the human ships formed a defensive line between Earth and the approaching Crawl fleet. They were outnumbered 3-1, and their weapons were vastly inferior. "Crawl fleet has entered weapon range," the tactical officer reported. "Our ships are engaging." The display lit up as the battle began. Streaks of light represented missile launches and energy weapon discharges. Almost immediately, 2 human ships vanished from the screen. "Defense platforms are firing," someone reported. More lights flashed across the display. A Crawl ship disappeared. The first enemy casualty, but 3 more human vessels followed. Admiral Miller watched, her face like stone. Then she nodded once. "Dr. Lee, initialize Prometheus targeting sequence. Authorization code, Miller 74 Alpha Tango." Grace's fingers flew across her console. Target locked on Crawl command ship, adjusting quantum probability matrices. The room seemed to hold its breath. In the center, a holographic representation of Prometheus appeared, a sphere surrounded by rotating rings glowing with blue energy. "Admiral," Alex said quietly, "once we fire, there's no going back. The Council will know what we've done." Miller's eyes never left the battle display. Another human ship vanished. "We crossed that line when they abandoned us, Commander." She turned to Grace. "Fire." Grace pressed her palm against the scanner. Firing solution executed. For a moment, nothing happened. The battle continued on the display. Then, the Crawl command ship simply ceased to exist. There was no explosion, no debris. One moment it was there, the next it was gone, leaving only empty space. Before anyone could react, 12 more Crawl ships, the ones closest to the command vessel, vanished in the same way. The control room erupted in shocked exclamations. "What just happened?" Olivia asked, her eyes wide. Grace's voice was steady as she explained. "Prometheus alters the quantum probability field in a targeted area of space. The fundamental forces holding matter together, strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force, electromagnetic force, they all briefly change their constants." "In simple terms?" Miller asked. "The matter those ships were made of suddenly found itself in a universe where its existence was improbable," Grace said. "So it stopped existing." On the tactical display, the remaining Crawl ships had stopped advancing. For several minutes they held position. Then, as one, they turned and began accelerating away from Earth. "They're retreating," Alex said, disbelief in his voice. The communications officer looked up. "Admiral, we're receiving thousands of signals from every Council world within range. They all want to know what just happened." Miller's lips curved in a small, grim smile. "Tell them humanity just invented a new kind of weapon. And tell the Council we expect their representatives here within 24 hours. As cheers broke out across the control room, Alex moved to stand beside Grace. "You did it," he said softly. She shook her head, looking troubled. "No, Alex, we all did it. We've just changed everything." "For better or worse?" he asked. Grace looked at the display where the Crawl ships were rapidly disappearing into the distance. "I don't know, but after today, no one will ever call humans primitive again." In deep space, news of the battle spread at light speed. 13 Crawl warships, including their fearsome dreadnought, gone in an instant. No explosion, no debris, just gone. The Galactic Council called an emergency session. The primitive humans, it seemed, weren't so primitive after all. The Galactic Council chamber had never been so quiet. 7 representatives sat in stunned silence as they watched the recording again. 13 Crawl warships, including their fearsome dreadnought, simply vanished from existence. No explosion. No debris. Just there one moment, gone the next. "This can't be real," Ambassador Zex of the Zerillians finally said, his transparent skin paling to an almost white color. "The humans don't have this level of technology. The evidence suggests otherwise," replied the Andorian elder, his forearms folded across his chest. His ancient eyes had lost their usual look of calm wisdom. Now they showed something new. Fear. The doors to the chamber opened, and Ambassador Nancy Morgan of Earth walked in. The human moved with quiet confidence, her simple blue uniform a stark contrast to the elaborate robes of the council members. Ambassador Morgan, the Andorian elder said, his voice formal. The council has reviewed the recording of the battle against the Crawl fleet. We have questions. I'm sure you do, Morgan replied, taking her seat at the observers' table. For 3 years, humans had been kept at that small side table, unable to join the main circle. Today, all eyes were on her. What exactly did we witness? Asked High Commander Vrax of the Vexmore. The insect-like alien's mandibles clicked nervously, a far cry from her usual mocking laughter. Morgan smiled slightly. We call it Project Prometheus, a defensive weapon based on quantum probability manipulation. Impossible, declared the Zentari diplomat, his lava-like body glowing brighter with emotion. The laws of physics don't allow for your understanding of physics, Morgan interrupted. The room fell silent again. No one interrupted council members. Yet today, the rules seemed different. Dr. Frank Powell has agreed to explain the basic principles, Morgan continued, gesturing to the door. A human male entered carrying a small device. The gray-haired scientist placed it on the table and activated it. A holographic model appeared, showing subatomic particles moving in complex patterns. Greetings, council members, Powell said. For centuries, your civilizations approached quantum mechanics from a singular perspective. You sought to eliminate uncertainty, to make physics predictable and controllable. He adjusted the hologram, and the particles began moving differently. Humans took a different path. We embraced uncertainty as a fundamental property of reality. Instead of fighting it, we learned to manipulate it. The Andorian leaned forward. You're saying you can change the basic constants of reality? In a limited targeted area, yes, Powell confirmed. Prometheus creates a field where the fundamental forces, strong nuclear, weak nuclear, electromagnetic, and gravitational, briefly alter their constants. And matter within that field, Zex began, finds itself in a universe where its current form is highly improbable, Powell finished. The result is instantaneous conversion to base elements. The council members exchanged alarmed glances. This technology violates multiple council treaties on prohibited weapons development, Vrax stated, her voice harsh. Morgan's expression hardened. Treaties that Earth never signed as you repeatedly denied us full membership status. You concealed this capability during all our negotiations, accused the Zentari. Just as your people concealed their gravity manipulation technology until the Nix conflict, Morgan countered smoothly. Self-preservation is hardly unique to humans. The chamber erupted in overlapping arguments. Some council members demanded immediate sanctions against Earth. Others insisted on technology-sharing agreements. A few voiced concerns about the ethical implications of weapons that effectively erased matter from existence. The Andorian elder raised his 4 arms, calling for silence. What are your demands, Ambassador Morgan? Morgan looked surprised. Demands? We have no demands. We defended ourselves when you abandoned us to the Crawl. Now we simply wish to take our rightful place among the galactic community. As equals, she added pointedly. The Andorian's eyes narrowed. And if we refuse? Then we remain as we have been, observers who wish only to ensure our survival. The message was clear. Humanity would no longer be mocked or conquered. After 3 hours of heated debate, the council called for a recess. As the members filed out, Morgan found herself face to face with Ambassador Zex. You've changed everything, the Xerillian said quietly. The balance of power that has maintained peace for centuries is now uncertain. Perhaps it needed changing, Morgan replied. A peace built on the strong dominating the weak isn't really peace at all. And what will you do with this power? Zex asked. Morgan's eyes were steady. That depends on what the galaxy does with us. Back on Earth, Commander Alex Bennett stood with Captain Olivia Rodriguez in the White House Situation Room. On screens around them, news of the Prometheus weapon spread across the planet. Some celebrated humanity's victory. Others worried about the consequences. The Krawl have retreated beyond the Orion Arm, Olivia reported. All their forces are pulling back to their core systems. Alex nodded. And our fleet? Rebuilding. We lost 8 ships, Alex. Good ships with good people. He closed his eyes briefly. I know. If we'd used Prometheus sooner. Don't, Olivia said firmly. We did what we thought was right. Testing an experimental weapon isn't something to do lightly. The door opened and Admiral Miller walked in, looking tired but satisfied. Ambassador Morgan just called from the council station, she announced. They've voted to offer Earth full membership, with no strings attached. Olivia smiled. So we've won? Miller's expression remained serious. We've survived. Whether we've won depends on what happens next. The balance of power has shifted dramatically. Some races will see us as allies, others as threats. And the Krawl? Alex asked. That's the most interesting part, Miller replied. They've requested a meeting, not with the council, with us specifically. They want to talk to the people who destroyed their dreadnought, Olivia said, understanding. Miller nodded. The Krawl respect strength above all else. By defeating them, we've earned something no other newcomer species has ever gotten from them. Their attention. So what now? Alex asked. Now, Miller said, we prepare for a new reality. One where humanity isn't just a footnote in galactic politics, but a major player. The council races looked down on us for years. That ends today. As they discussed the implications, Dr. Grace Lee entered the room. She looked different somehow, older perhaps, though only days had passed since the battle. The Prometheus firing caused unexpected side effects, she reported. The quantum ripples are spreading further than we anticipated. Dangerous? Miller asked sharply. Not immediately, Grace replied. But it confirms my theory. We didn't just build a weapon, Admiral. We discovered a new branch of physics, one that could revolutionize everything from energy production to space travel. Alex looked at her with new understanding. You never intended Prometheus to be just a weapon, did you? Grace shook her head. Weapons defend or destroy. I wanted to build something that could create. Now we have that chance. As night fell over Earth, people looked up at the stars with new eyes. Their world was no longer just a small blue planet on the edge of an uncaring galaxy. Now it was the home of a species that had changed the rules of what was possible. And somewhere in the council chambers, the representatives of 100 alien races were coming to terms with a new reality. The primitives weren't so primitive after all. 1 year after the Krawl battle, Earth had changed dramatically. With full membership in the Galactic Council came access to advanced alien technologies. Clean energy, powerful medicines, and faster-than-light travel transformed human society. But humanity offered gifts of its own to the galactic community. The quantum principles that humans apply to manufacturing are revolutionary, admitted the Zerillian science minister during a summit at the New Earth Embassy. We've been approaching particle physics from the wrong angle for centuries. Commander Alex Bennett, now Admiral Bennett, stood with Captain Olivia Rodriguez on the observation deck of Unity Station, the massive spaceport orbiting Earth. Ships from 24 alien races came and went below them. Did you ever imagine we'd get here? Olivia asked, watching an enormous Andorian vessel dock gracefully. Alex shook his head. Not after that first meeting. I thought they'd either try to conquer us or keep us as pets. Amazing what a little respect can do, Olivia replied with a smile. Below them, alien tourists and diplomats mingled with humans. Among them was Dr. Grace Lee, now leading a group of council scientists through the public sections of the Prometheus Research Institute. The quantum technology that had saved Earth was being adapted for peaceful uses, medical treatments, energy production, and environmental restoration. They still fear us, Alex observed. With good reason, Olivia said. We're the species that weaponized uncertainty itself. But fear and respect can exist alongside friendship. In the council chambers, Ambassador Morgan and President Garcia were finalizing the Treaty of Sol, establishing Earth as headquarters for a new joint defense initiative. Human quantum technology combined with alien engineering promised protection, against threats no single species could handle alone. The Andorian elder approached President Garcia after the signing. "We have existed among the stars for 40,000 of your years," the ancient being said. "Yet in less than one, you humans have forever changed galactic history." Garcia smiled. "That's what humans do best. We adapt, we innovate, and when necessary, we fight." "A lesson the Crawl learned at great cost," the elder acknowledged. Perhaps it was one the council needed to learn as well. Even the Crawl had changed their approach. After centuries of conquest, they now sent warriors to train alongside humans, respecting the strength Earth had shown. Their ambassador, a battle-scarred veteran, had become a regular visitor to Earth. "The strong deserve respect," he told Alex during one meeting. "Humans proved stronger than we expected. It is good to have worthy rivals and perhaps one day worthy allies." As Earth rotated below them, gleaming ships bearing the joint insignia of humanity and the Galactic Council prepared for their first mission, not one of war, but of exploration, carrying the combined knowledge of dozens of species to the unknown reaches of the galaxy. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage not just as equals, but as innovators who saw the universe differently. The first shot fired had indeed changed everything, not by destroying enemies, but by creating new possibilities that no one had foreseen. Even the stars themselves seemed brighter now.